combines the challenge of spinning and the grace of gymnastics. Her client seems to keep up with her pretty well. Not surprisingly, her clips have attracted tens of thousands of internet views and most likely tens of thousands of sore derrieres.
That is impressive, actually. Wow.
I'd be in a cast along with you.
Yeah, I know. I think so.
A body cast. Yeah, that is impressive. That's
wow.
Quite a workout. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, the rain and warmer weather in the forecast adds to the threat communities across southern Wisconsin.
Why an assistant district attorney and victim witness coordinator recently left the Columbia County DA's office.
Plus, why a training course for the Fort Atkinson School District is raising some legal concerns.
This is News 3 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 now. Possible showers and isolated thunderstorms are in the forecast.
Let's get a look at the forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti is on the weather patio. Gary?
But we also have mild temperatures in the forecast, and I tell you, I'm sick of winter, so I'm declaring spring just about here. But temperatures will be up around 60 degrees tomorrow afternoon, and that coupled with the showers and isolated thunderstorms could lead to some flooding problems. Visible cloud track shows a powerful storm system over eastern Nebraska, spreading clouds up from the south and west, and those mild southerly winds are going to warm us up. You can see on Doppler track some showers to our south and to our west. We might see a few thunderstorms start to develop later on tonight, but right now it's mainly just rain showers that will be moving through much of Grant County, Crawford County, and Richland County over the next hour or two. As we look at the advisories right now, we have a flood watch in effect through 7 a.m. Friday morning for all of southern Wisconsin. There also is a wind advisory from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. tomorrow for areas south and east of Dane County for winds that could gust to 40 to 45 miles per hour. Low temperatures this morning started out above freezing, so we continue to just melt the snow overnight. 37 was the overnight low in Madison. Current temperatures are in the middle 40s, and they will hold steady or rise overnight, so that by tomorrow morning we should be up around 50 degrees. In fact, I'm looking for showers, maybe some isolated thunderstorms overnight into the day tomorrow. Not a continuous rain, but about a half-inch of rain on top of the snow melt could lead to some flooding problems. Tomorrow's high temperature at a balmy 59 degrees before a cold front moves through late in the afternoon. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
Gary, thank you. And people all around our area are preparing for flooding tonight.
Sauk County officials say they are closely monitoring the amount of rain that we get. Our Rose Schmidt is live in Baraboo to explain what they're doing to prepare. Rose?
Yes, well, Sauk County Emergency Management is not expecting any major damage to homes or to structures. That's the good news. But they do say that in some areas the water has already started to seep in through basements. Now, if that is happening to you, they recommend using sandbags. That will be your best defense in this situation. There's empty bags and sand at the West Baraboo Garage across from Festival Foods and at Reedsburg High School. Officials say there shouldn't be huge impacts as a result of high river levels because this week the Baraboo River is expected to crest 3.5 feet lower than in August of last year.
We are anticipating possibly surface flooding, meaning from the runoff of snow and water coming into people's homes. We're getting reports of that coming through basement windows or patio doors.
And I live over by Circus World by the river, so I've seen the flooding, but we've never really had too much problem at our house. But with all the snow, and I shovel, and then it just builds up, and then it all just wants to melt, and then the rain comes, so all that water, it's all slushed together.
Now, in addition to sandbagging, Sauk County Emergency Management also recommends downloading their Nixle app. That is where they'll give out the latest up-to-date info on this flooding. And Emergency Management says that you can also expect to see water over roads, particularly in areas like Laval, Reedsburg, and Rock Springs. And as a reminder, if you do see water over those roads, please do not drive through it. Standing water can be dangerous to drive through.
Yeah, always important to remember. Rose Schmidt reporting live tonight. Rose, thanks.
Well, speaking of that, drivers are being asked to stay away from the intersection of North Wright Road and Ruger Avenue in Janesville due to high water on the road. One northbound lane of North Wright Road has been already closed. Officers expect to close the entire intersection soon. Water is partially on Beloit Avenue between Palmer and Delavan Drive, Crews have closed one lane in each direction.
There are many counties that are offering free sandbagging due to the possible flooding. Free filled sandbags will be available at the Columbia County Highway Shop in Wyacina Monday through Friday. The Rock County Sheriff's Department has opened 4 sandbag stations for residents, which include Rock Town Hall, the Newville Park and Ride, the City of Janesville Public Works Division, and the City of Beloit Department of Public Works building.
Officials with the Dane County Parks Department are monitoring conditions of parks as temperatures warm up and the snow starts to melt. Park officials say anyone visiting those parks should stay on hard surfaces and roads.
They say they'll begin controlled burns once more of the snow melts. The burns will also close the parks temporarily, so if you're looking to visit Dane County Parks, you should visit the Parks Department website. It is DaneCountyParks.com. The Columbia County District Attorney is defending her office following 2 recent vacancies.
An assistant district attorney and a victim witness coordinator recently left the DA's office. Keely Arthur spoke with the district attorney today to find out why. Keely?
Well, these vacancies gained more attention yesterday when newly appointed district attorney Tristan Egan failed to show up to a County Board of Supervisors Judiciary Committee meeting where the DA's 2018 annual report was discussed. Egan said she simply did not have the time to attend the meeting after one of the assistant district attorneys called in sick. The office is already short-staffed following the resignation of Assistant DA Mary Ellen Karst. Egan says Karst retired and called the departure amicable. However, when questioned about the circumstances of victim witness coordinator Marnie Tom's departure, Egan hesitated to provide details, saying she was not Tom's supervisor.
The things that happen in this office are going to be professional. I try to conduct myself with the utmost decorum because that's what I would expect from anyone who fills the position.
No office parties or office drinking?
Only when we have a how do I want to put it? When we have the ability to celebrate wins.
Egan said the office did celebrate the win in the Trent Hebel case. He was found guilty of poisoning his ex-girlfriend's dog. When asked if drinking was involved in that celebration, Egan would not confirm or deny that. Now, Egan says the county's Human Resource Office would have to provide any information on Tom. The Human Resource Director, Joseph Roof, is out of the office this week and could not confirm Karst's resignation or why Tom has left the office.
All right, Keely Arthur reporting that. Keely, thank you.
Thank you, Keely. Madison police used surveillance video to identify an aggressive panhandler who followed a woman last month and took her purse. Detectives looked at surveillance cameras and images to follow the suspect before and after the robbery and identified him as 32-year-old Deontay Thomas. Thomas followed a Madison woman in early February in the 300 block of West Dayton Street and took her purse after she told him she was going to call 911. Thomas was located in downtown Madison and arrested on Friday.
Republicans on a Senate committee are split on moving forward with the governor's pick to run the Department of Safety and Professional Services. Dawn Krim appeared before that committee today to talk about her qualifications and also to answer questions about a felony child abuse charge in 2005 where she was accused of jabbing her then 5-year-old son in the hand with a pen. Those charges were later dropped.
It's a personal matter that happened 14 years ago and the case was dropped. So we haven't talked about it. We don't talk about it. It's, as I said, it was not a good moment. And so I have moved on. My family and I have moved on.
Krim previously worked for the State Department of Public Instruction under Governor Evers and has also served in multiple roles at the UW-Madison, including a stint as women's basketball assistant coach. A committee vote on her confirmation has not yet been scheduled.
A planned training course for the Fort Atkinson School District staff is raising some legal concerns.
Next week, the district is offering an optional breakout session with ties to the Bible. Our Madeline O'Neill joins us now with more. Maddie?
Eric and Susan, the seminar is called Wise and Well, a staff wellness experience, and district officials say it takes place next Friday. It will be made up of 12 voluntary optional breakout sessions. Now, the one raising questions by some groups is called Happiness Is, a biblical perspective on true joy. That's presented by a district teacher and the elementary school principal there. A Wisconsin Education Association council staff member says he heard about the session last week and advised district officials to consult legal counsel in An attorney from the nonprofit group Freedom from Religion says even though the training is for teachers, not students, and is optional, it still uses taxpayer dollars, violates the First Amendment by endorsing religion, and if a teacher felt they were marginalized, they could take legal action.
They could potentially bring a lawsuit against the school district, and they would have a solid argument that the government is promoting religion in general, and in this case, Christianity in particular.
District officials say they're consulting with their legal counsel about these concerns. This year's theme is 8 Dimensions of Wellness, which includes spirituality for that professional development course. In a statement, the district superintendent says they, quote, encourage staff to consider the 8 areas of wellness for themselves so they can help students as part of the district's focus on social emotional development. Freedom from Religion says they filed a complaint with the Fort Atkinson School District in 2017 against the same principal, presenting the current session in question. Coming up at 6, we'll hear from families in the district on what they think about all of this.
All right, Madeline, thank you. Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes visiting Hegel Elementary School today. This is part of Education Week. The Lieutenant Governor focused on Governor Tony Evers' budget proposal that includes $500,000 in grant funding to the Department of Public Instruction to help more schools around the state purchase water bottle filling stations. He says he wants to make sure every school is fully investing in their students.
Making sure that we're crafting a future for these children, to make sure that their schools are fully funded, making sure that we're working to fix the formula flaw, making sure that we are going back to our state's two-thirds commitment for state aid, a guaranteed minimum of $3,000 per pupil, because this is the single most important investment that we can make as a state.
As for those water bottle filling stations, they range in cost from $800 to $2,700 apiece, with additional costs for installation and filter replacement every 3,000 gallons.
State legislators are reminding voters about early voting. Starting on Monday, March 18th through the 30th, Madisonians can vote. Voters can cast their ballot in the statewide race for Wisconsin Supreme Court between Brian Hagedorn and Lisa Neubauer, as well as races for mayor, school board, and city council.
Don't be complacent. Go vote as soon as possible. And remember, voting is a fundamental right, and every vote must count. We are counting on you to make the right choices for the state of Wisconsin.
If you'd like to know where to vote, head to myvotewi.org.
Still ahead tonight on News 3 Now at 5, President Trump takes executive action grounding the recently troubled Boeing 737 MAX involved in a pair of deadly crashes.
And continued fallout from what the FBI is calling the biggest college admissions bribe scandal in history.
And a look at Wall Street before we go to break. Positive numbers today. The Dow up 148. The Nasdaq added 52, while the S&P jumping 19. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. President Trump has ordered all Boeing 737 MAX planes in the United States to be grounded following a pair of deadly crashes involving the jet. The president said he came to the decision after speaking with the CEO of Boeing, the transportation secretary, and the acting head of the FAA. President Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, now has an additional 3.5 years added to his prison sentence.
A federal judge added the extra time for a conspiracy conviction. Manafort has been sentenced to 73 months in prison after pleading guilty to 2 conspiracy charges from a wheelchair in court. The 69-year-old apologized for his crimes, and he asked for compassion from the judge for his wife's sake. But the judge said leniency wasn't warranted. 30 months of today's sentence will run concurrent to the 47 months he was sentenced to last week on bank and tax fraud charges. So he faces about 7 more years in prison.
Very sad day for such a callous, harsh sentence that is totally unnecessary.
Manafort's legal problems are still growing. Within minutes of that sentencing, a district attorney in Manhattan announced new charges against him in New York.
The most senior Catholic cleric ever to be convicted of child sexual abuse is headed to prison in Australia. A judge sentenced Australian Cardinal George Pell to 6 years behind bars for molesting 2 choir boys. A jury found Pell, a former advisor to Pope Francis, guilty of sexually abusing the 2 13-year-olds at a cathedral in 1996 when he was Archbishop of Melbourne, Australia. This just in, a judge says actress Lori Loughlin can be released after posting $1 million bond in the college bribery case. She is one of dozens of wealthy parents who are facing criminal charges for allegedly trying to cheat or bribe their children's way into elite colleges. With the man at the center of the bribery scandal cooperating with authorities, more fallout is expected in the weeks and months ahead. College admissions consultant William Singer pled guilty yesterday. Prosecutors say wealthy parents paid him millions to guarantee that their children would get into top colleges.
All of them knowingly conspired with Singer and others to help their children either cheat on the SAT or ACT and or buy their children's admission to elite schools through fraud.
The 33 parents named in the indictment are accused of paying an estimated $25 million in bribes. Also among them, Desperate Housewives star Felicity Huffman, who allegedly paid $15,000 so a test administrator could boost her daughter's college entrance exam score.
Let's get a look at your first alert weather now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with the very latest on what's happening out there, Gary.
Things are pretty quiet out there right now, but we are looking for some rain, maybe some thunderstorms at points over the next 24 hours. We have alert days in the forecast for tonight for rain showers and isolated thunderstorms that could lead to areas of flooding. Also, it'll be windy tomorrow, especially south and east of Madison. We could see some wind gusts in the 40 to 45 mile per hour range. That could cause some minor damage, maybe some broken tree limbs, and areas of flooding will continue tomorrow as the snow melt continues. As we take a look at Doppler track, you can see the next batch of showers moving in from the southwest, mainly moving through the western portions of our viewing area from Platteville to Lone Rock and Richland Center westward. So that area of showers lifts toward the north, but you can see there'll be additional bands of showers developing behind it. And then on the northern part of the storm, a raging blizzard is going on through parts of the Dakotas and into western Minnesota. Not only that, there is a severe weather threat tomorrow, not far away. To our east, a slight risk of severe weather into much of southern lower Michigan and a marginal risk through about the southern half of that state. So that just shows you we're probably in a pretty good spot, being in between the severe weather to our south and east and a snowstorm to our north and to our west. But flood watch is in effect through 7 a.m. Friday morning for pretty much the entire state of Wisconsin, as well as parts of Illinois, Iowa, and Minnesota. You can see rainfall amounts generally will be around a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch, maybe up to an inch in an isolated spot or two in a heavier shower or thunderstorm. But that coupled with the snow melt will lead to flooding problems almost certainly in some areas. The snow is starting to erode away over southern Wisconsin, but still a lot of snow is still on the ground in the northern portion of the state. So as that water gradually works its way into the Wisconsin River and the Mississippi River and starts working its way south, there's going to be additional problems with flooding through the upcoming days. Then here's that wind advisory over southeastern Wisconsin and northeastern western Illinois, as well as parts of Iowa and Minnesota. Farther to the west, there are high wind warnings back into parts of Kansas. Current temperatures range from the lower 50s to our south, and our temperatures will probably rise as our winds continue out of the south to below freezing, where the snow is falling over the western portions of Minnesota. That's where blizzard warnings and winter storm warnings are in effect, along with winter weather advisories over far western Minnesota. Live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Pretty cloudy there. It looks like a little bit of rain falling. The WISC Skycam showing mostly cloudy skies here, and the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison showing cloudy skies over the southern end of Lake Mendota. You can see a lot of that ice starting to melt away. As we check out the almanac for today, our low this morning above freezing at 37, so we continue to melt the snow overnight. Our high temperature 45, and that is the current temperature with mostly cloudy skies, winds out of the southeast at 13 miles per hour. This powerful storm system has a jet stream that just splits across the Midwest. That helps to lift the air and really deepen the center of the area of low pressure, which is currently located over western Kansas. It's so strong that it's actually blown a cold front around, almost completely around the storm system. So the cold air is actually coming in from the southwest over parts of Kansas and Missouri. Our forecast includes a flood watch for all of southern Wisconsin through 7 a.m. Friday morning, a wind advisory for areas south and east of Dane County from 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. tomorrow. For tonight, look for mostly cloudy skies, showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm and areas of fog. Temperature steady or rising from the mid-40s to around 50 by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's high temperature at 59 with showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but it'll be windy, and then the winds will shift around to the west late in the day. On future track, you can see bands of showers, maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms. Not a continuous rain, but enough to bring a fair amount of rain. High tomorrow 59, and then those winds shift around to the southwest. That's when the colder air starts to come in. The rain could mix with snow as temperatures drop to around freezing by early on Friday morning. And then Friday, look for temperatures to stay in the 30s. Rainfall amounts, again, around a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch, but there could be some heavier amounts in a shower or a thunderstorm. The 10-day forecast calls for temperatures to be a little bit below normal for the early part of next week, but rise above normal toward the end of the week. Good news is no major storm systems expected over that time period. As we take a look at first alert traffic, seeing some delays right now on the eastbound Beltline. The live view from the DOT traffic camera at Park Street showing traffic actually starting to improve a little bit on the eastbound side. Now the westbound side starting to slow down a little bit. We're seeing delays eastbound from around Monona Drive back to around Park Street, and then from around Fish Hatchery Road to Verona Road. Westbound, some delays between Todd Drive and Fish Hatchery Road. Right now, a 21-minute commute on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate. 17 minutes back in the westbound direction. And if you're heading out of Madison, 25 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990. 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and a quick 16 minutes to Sun Prairie on US 151 and East Washington Avenue. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
All right, Gary, thank you.
Straight ahead, it may be the future of virtual reality communication. An inside look at one of Facebook's newest projects. That's next. Facebook says it is developing the next step in the future of communication, a new virtual reality platform that creates lifelike replicas of real people.
But it involves the mass collection of data. DeMarco Morgan reports.
Expression?
To create an avatar that looks, moves, and sounds like you,
Scrunch up your face really, really tight.
180 cameras and 500 lights capture your face.
That's cool.
You are.
From different angles,
Puff out your cheeks.
making all sorts of silly faces.
You are doing fantastic.
180
Cameras.
Cameras. High resolution, high frame rate.
So why so many?
So the reason is because we want to be able to understand exactly how you look from every different viewpoint. Because in virtual reality, we might move and look at you from different perspectives, and it has to look as real as you do.
Yasser Sheikh directs the Facebook Reality Lab in Pittsburgh, creating these avatars.
It's an evolution from the telephone to video conferencing, and this could be the next sort of way of actually spending time with a friend you haven't met in 10 years. You can both sort of say, let's meet at the Eiffel Tower, and suddenly you materialize there.
Oh, wow.
When you put the goggles on, you see a three-dimensional version of the person you are talking to, so it feels like they are right in front of you.
Oh, this looks real.
To make it real, the scanner captures 180 gigabytes of data per second. That's less than 2 seconds to fill a typical laptop hard drive. A lot of data to give a social media platform like Facebook.
It's impossible not to ask the question, is there a dark side to this?
Peter Rubin is a senior correspondent at Wired who covers virtual and augmented reality.
It collects a lot of data about us and increasingly about the way that we look and the way that we behave and the way we react to things. It feels much more invasive than just having our web surfing monitored.
But Facebook says security is a top priority.
Any concerns about hackers?
Of course, something which I consider to be the existential threat to this kind of technology. If we're not mindful of this and develop safeguards in the system itself, it really threatens the viability of this entire medium of communication.
DeMarco Morgan, Pittsburgh.
Stay with us. We'll have another check of your forecast in just a moment.
Here comes more rain.
Yeah, another round, especially for the western parts of our viewing area, at least over the next couple of hours, but we'll see off and on bands of showers. Temperatures mid-40s here, but notice Janesville's at 52. It's in the 50s across northern Illinois, and our temperatures will rise overnight. Maybe another ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain overnight into tomorrow. Flood watch until 7 a.m. Friday morning for all of southern Wisconsin, and a wind advisory south and east of Dane County from 10 a.m. till 7 p.m. tomorrow.
All right, Gary, thank you. We're back with more updates in 30 minutes for News 3 now at 6. The CBS Evening News is next.